The Vegas Aces take their first L of the season. Welcome back to Viva Las Aces, your home for everything Las Vegas Aces. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to drop some comments below. This is brought to you by the Deep Dig A Sports Network. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Las Vegas Aces take their first loss of the season. Of course, we know that it was going to be pretty hard to do a perfect season. It just wasn't going to happen in this league. The league is too good. There's too much talent. But man, this Phoenix Mercury team, hats off to them. They had an amazing performance once again. I thought they did really well in the first game against the Aces in the season opener, and I was a little bit leery of them coming into this game and thinking, okay, well, if they just figured out how to shut down A'ja Wilson a little bit quicker, that game is completely different. And that's what they did in this game. They came out red hot, led by Kahleah Copper. Kahleah Copper had 13 points in the first quarter alone. She got dinged up in the second quarter, but was able to come back in the third and continued to put on a show. What an amazing performance by not only Kahleah Copper, but the rest of this Phoenix Mercury team. And if you're a Phoenix Mercury fan, you've got to be feeling just great about yourself, knowing, okay, we have a shot just based off of our style of play, which is fast, 3-point oriented. So we can realistically, if we get down by 10 or 15 points early on, we can come back. But realistically, they were in control of this game right off the bat. Kahleah Copper, who had a great game before, comes in red hot, continues that streak. From the other side, A'ja Wilson started this game off a little bit slow. So the Phoenix Mercury were only keeping one post player in their lineup, and the rest of the players were actually more athletic to be able to move around a little bit more, help on defense. And I feel like that strategy really helped out the Mercury from really the points in the paint, which we saw a lot of in the first game from A'ja Wilson, from Jackie Young, who had the ability to – Jackie Young is so good. She almost reminds me of and this isn't a slight or anything. I mean this in a complimentary way, like a Dennis Schroeder, where Dennis Schroeder, his main game was speed, speed, speed. I'm going to run downhill. I'm going to either cause you to foul me. I will kick it out to the open defender because you're going to collapse on me. That is Jackie Young's game, and she does it well. The only thing is she needs to sometimes have some versatility with her game and know when to slow it down, when to find the open person, kick it around a little bit. But she started off this game red hot to keep the Aces in it. I think it was like 8 of 9 to start this game. So she was on a roll. But this Phoenix Mercury team, again, jumped out to a big lead. I think in the first half, it got up to 14 points. They end up cutting it down with a lot of help from Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum was awesome from 3 this game. She ended up with 7 3-pointers. So she was awesome in this game. I just think it was a fun game overall. The style of play for both of these teams really create, you know how they say styles make fights. Both styles of plays just match up perfectly. Neither one is going to back down. Neither one is afraid to continue to keep up a high pace. And we've seen a ton of scoring in this game. And surprisingly, this wasn't even like a Diana Taurasi taking over. It was Diana Taurasi helping. But as you heard from the broadcast, if you watched the game, they were saying that Kahleah Copper is going to be the star moving forward. Kahleah Copper has all the intangibles, and picking her up this offseason was a huge move for this Mercury team. And they need her to understand, hey, you need to step up and be the star. And she did it hands down this game. And overall, both of these teams you can tell neither team, the Mercury nor the Aces, wanted to back down from this fight. They were both edgy. They were both gritty. They weren't afraid to get into it with each other. I know there was a few scuffles or a couple of dust ups on the court itself, but this was a very, very entertaining game. The Aces did fall behind in the first half, were able to cut that lead down. In the second half, they end up coming out. They take the lead. They take a little bit of control, but then the lead goes right back up. The Mercury ended up taking a 15-point lead into the fourth quarter. But this is the thing with the Aces. The one thing that they do, this is a veteran team. They don't panic. They understand we can come back based off of our three-point shooting, based off of our ability to get to the line. And that's exactly what they started to do to really slow down the game, understand, hey, instead of playing this fast pace, going shot for shot with this Mercury team, let's slow it down. Let's make sure that we're getting the best shot available. Let's slow down this clock and let's get to the line, get some free points, and then move forward. And they were able to cut this down from a 15-point deficit to, I think they cut it to 5 with about a minute left. And once they cut it to 5, they had the Phoenix Mercury on their heels. They hadn't scored a point in over 4 minutes of gameplay. So just staunch defense, the ability, again, as I said, to create points where there is no time left off of the clock. That is awesome. So they were able to do that, keep the Mercury from really kind of taking this one away. But at the end, Kahleah Copper ends up stealing it. She gets a bucket when it's most needed, kept the Aces at bay, and the Phoenix Mercury get the win. Not surprising. Again, as I said before, I feel like this Phoenix team just plays of style that they can go up against any single team in this league, and they are going to have a chance, especially with great three-point shooting coming from Cunningham, Diana Taurasi, but now the emergence of Kahleah Copper on this team. Hopefully she continues to see herself in that star role. And then they're going to still get back Brittany Griner. Again, they made this adjustment on Asia Wilson to only play one post player. They rotated in Mack and Dixon at that one spot and kept everybody else on the perimeter, kept everybody else in transition help D, made sure that they had a little bit more athletics on that perimeter. And it worked for the defensive side. But on the offensive side, what they were doing was they had both bigger perimeter players, and they were picking on Jackie Young. They were picking on Kate Martin when she was out there. First off, I love Kate Martin's game. I hope she gets a lot of minutes moving forward. I just don't know how it's going to work out in the rotation once Chelsea Gray comes back. And this Aces team could definitely use Chelsea Gray. You've seen her out on the court coaching up these women, making sure, hey, get to your spot. What I would do in this instance is X, Y, and Z. And her coming back is going to be invaluable to this team. But again, back to the Mercury. The Mercury rotated in those post players, and what they were doing was they were killing the Aces on the rotation. Every time that Kahleah Copper got the ball, she was using the Aces rotation to get a smaller player. I think mainly it was Jackie Young, and then taking it to the basket. And Kahleah Copper has an amazing, she's a good jump shooter, but she has amazing touch and the ability to make a layup at full speed, which is something a lot of people can't do. She can do it, and it works tremendously. All in all, I think it's a game that again, just like the last matchup, whoever was going to win this, you feel good about it. Even if you lost this one, your style of play, you feel pretty good about it. The Aces, we know, back-to-back champions, have this championship pedigree, are going to lose a couple games, but can still keep it moving. On the other hand, the Mercury are like, okay, cool. Now we know what we really are. We can continue to push, get better, build some more team chemistry, and really get after it this season and have a complete turnaround. Next up for the Las Vegas Aces, they stay at home, and they are going to be taking on Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. This is going to be on Saturday the 25th. Actually, this one might be a WNBA League Pass game, so be on the lookout for that. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And Viva Las Aces.